Do you ever feel completely certain about something, only to discover you were missing the bigger picture? Like when you were a kid and thought the moon followed you home, only to realize later it was just an illusion. That gap between what we think we know and what's actually true is at the heart of why time seems to speed up as we age, and French philosopher Henri Bergson might have the key to slowing it down. Bergson's core idea is simple but profound. We confuse time with space. We measure time like it's a line on a calendar, ticking away in neat little boxes. But that's not how we actually experience it. He said, "Time is invention, or it is nothing at all." In other words, time isn't just numbers on a clock. It's the flow of our lived experiences, the moments that change us. But here's the problem. Our brains love shortcuts. You probably recognize that stubborn feeling of being right, that certainty that your way of seeing things is the only way. Many of us cling to familiar ideas because they make the world feel predictable, safe. But Bergson argues that this habit of simplifying time into measurable units is why life starts to blur together as we get older. Think about it. Remember when you were a child and summer vacations felt endless? Every day was packed with new discoveries. Your first bike ride, the taste of ice cream melting on your tongue, the way the stars seemed to twinkle just for you. Back then, your mind wasn't filtering the world through routines and categories. You were fully immersed in the raw, messy, vibrant flow of experience. But as we grow up, we start labeling things, filing them away under "been there, done that." We stop noticing the details because our brains are on autopilot, and that's when time starts slipping through our fingers. Bergson believed this happens because we're trapped in what he called intellectual habits. We think we're understanding time when we count minutes, but we're really just freezing it into something static, like a snapshot instead of a movie. It's like trying to understand a song by only reading the sheet music. You miss the melody, the emotion, the life of it. And the more we rely on these mental shortcuts, the faster time seems to go. You've felt this, haven't you? Those weeks that blur into months, the years that vanish because every day feels the same. It's not that time itself is speeding up. It's that we've stopped paying attention in the way that makes it feel expansive. Bergson's solution: reconnect with what he called duration, the inner, subjective experience of time. This isn't about meditation or some mystical practice. It's about breaking free from the autopilot that turns our lives into a series of checkboxes. Imagine you're drinking your morning coffee. Most days, you're probably thinking about your to-do list, barely tasting it. But what if, just for a moment, you let yourself really notice the warmth of the cup, the bitterness swirling with sweetness, the way the steam curls into the air? That's duration. It's the act of stepping out of your head and into the richness of the moment. And the more you do this, the more time seems to stretch, because you're no longer sleepwalking through your own life. This cracks open a fascinating truth about how we experience time, and it all begins with the way we perceive the world around us. When we're young, life feels expansive because everything is new. Each day is packed with firsts, first steps, first words, first friendships. Time seems to stretch because our brains are processing so much fresh information. But as we grow older, the novelty fades and the days start to blur together. This isn't just a quirk of aging. It's a three-phase journey that shapes how we feel the passage of time. In the first phase, we see things simply. Childhood is a time of wonder, where even the smallest details a ladybug on a leaf, the sound of rain on the roof feel monumental. Our minds are wide open, absorbing the world without filters. Time feels slow because we're fully present in each moment. But this simplicity doesn't last. As we grow, life becomes more complicated. Responsibilities pile up, routines set in, and the once vivid details of life start to fade into the background. This is where the second phase begins, the confusing middle, where time seems to accelerate. The middle phase is where things get tough. You might be someone who resists change at first, clinging to the way things used to be. Most of us feel uneasy during transitions, and that's because our brains are wired to seek stability. Henry Bergson, the philosopher who studied time and perception, called this the tension between clock time and lived time. Time. Clock time is the steady tick of seconds, minutes, and hours. But lived time is how we experience those moments. In the messy middle, we're caught between the two. Life feels rushed because we're no longer fully immersed in the present. Instead, we're juggling deadlines, obligations, and the constant buzz of distractions. Bergson saw challenges as opportunities to break free from autopilot, but that requires effort. It's easier to react on impulse, to snap at a coworker, scroll mindlessly, or rush through meals, than to pause and truly engage with the moment. Yet, if we pay attention, subtle shifts begin to emerge. You may catch yourself pausing before reacting lately, or noticing how the light changes with the seasons. These small moments of awareness are the seeds of the third phase, new clarity. We start realizing that time doesn't have to slip away. By reclaiming our attention, we can stretch our experience of it. This isn't about adding more to our days. It's about deepening our connection to what's already there. Bergson believed that thoughtful responses, rather than knee-jerk reactions, allow us to tap into the richness of lived time. When we choose to savor a conversation instead of multitasking, or take a walk without checking our phones, we're resisting the pull of autopilot. These choices add texture to our days, making them feel fuller and longer. We start noticing that time's speed isn't fixed, it's shaped by our engagement. A day spent on autopilot flies by, but a day filled with mindful moments lingers. This is why routines can feel both comforting and stifling. They save mental energy, but they also dull our perception. The key is to introduce small variations, a new route to work, a different recipe for dinner, a few minutes of quiet reflection. These breaks in the pattern wake us up, pulling us back into the present. Bergson's ideas remind us that challenges aren't just obstacles. They're invitations to step out of the mechanical flow of clock time and into the fluid, dynamic experience of lived time. The journey from simplicity to confusion to clarity isn't linear. Some days, we'll slip back into old habits, feeling like time is racing ahead. Other days, we'll find ourselves fully immersed, as if we've reclaimed a bit of that childhood wonder. The tough middle phase is where the growth happens, even when it feels uncomfortable. Most of us feel uneasy during transitions, but that discomfort is a sign we're stretching beyond our usual limits. Bergson saw this as essential. Without friction, there's no growth. The moments that force us to slow down, to think differently, are the ones that ultimately reshape our relationship with time. Through this discomfort, we begin to see the cracks in our old ways of thinking. It's not that the past was wrong, but rather that it no longer serves us the way it once did. The unease we feel is a sign of growth, a signal that we're stretching beyond what we've known. And while that stretching can ache, it's also the only way to reach something new. At first, the unfamiliarity of this space can make us want to retreat. We might catch ourselves longing for the comfort of old habits, even if they no longer fit. But there's a quiet courage in staying put, in allowing ourselves to sit with the uncertainty. Slowly, we start to notice small shifts, the way we react to challenges, the way we see ourselves, even the way we breathe. These subtle changes are the first signs that something deeper is moving within us. You'll likely find daily decisions coming easier, not because life has gotten simpler, but because you've begun to trust yourself more. The noise of second guessing starts to fade, replaced by a quieter, steadier voice. It's not that you have all the answers, but you're no longer afraid of the questions. Many notice old frustrations don't bother them as much, not because those frustrations have disappeared, but because they've lost their power to define the day. This isn't about becoming someone entirely new. It's about uncovering who you've always been, beneath the layers of expectation and habit. The journey isn't linear, and there will be moments when the old discomfort resurfaces. But now, you recognize it for what it is. A reminder that you're still growing, still learning, still becoming. Together, we discover that freedom isn't about escaping life's constraints, but about moving through them with a different kind of awareness. It's the difference between being trapped in a room and realizing you've had the key all along. Henri Bergson once described this liberation as like finally taking off shoes that never quite fit. The relief isn't just in the removal, but in the recognition that you were never meant to wear them in the first place. And so we arrive here, not at an ending, but at a beginning. The path ahead is still unknown, but it's no longer frightening. It's alive with possibility, with the quiet promise that every step forward is a step closer to ourselves. The journey continues, but now we walk it with lighter feet, warmer hearts, and the unshakable knowing that we're exactly where we need to be. This is the beauty of growth. It doesn't ask us to be perfect, only to be present. It doesn't demand that we have everything figured out, only that we keep showing up. And in that showing up, we find the truest kind of freedom, the freedom to be, to change, to unfold at our own pace. So take a deep breath. Look around. Notice how far you've come, even if the distance feels small. The road ahead is yours to walk, and you're more ready than you know. Together, we've seen how discomfort can be a guide, how old frustrations can lose their grip, and how freedom feels when we finally let it in. This is your life, unfolding in real time, and it's brighter than you might yet see. Keep going. The best is still ahead.